Whoever fights monsters should see to it that in the process he does not become a monster. And if you gaze long enough into an abyss, the abyss will gaze back into you. In individuals, insanity is rare, but in groups, parties, nations, and epochs, it is the rule. He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. Without music, life would be a mistake. Everything that is thought about a great deal is finally thought suspicious. To live is to suffer. To survive is to find some meaning in the suffering. It is not a lack of love, but a lack of friendship that makes unhappy marriages. Are you a slave? If so, you cannot be a friend. Are you a tyrant? If so, you cannot have friends. I'm not upset that you lied to me. I'm upset that from now on I can't believe you. It is hard enough to remember my opinions without also remembering my reasons for them. There is always some madness in love, but there is also always some reason in madness. Joy in the herd is older than joy in the ego, and as long as the good conscience is called herd, only the bad conscience says, I. You cannot endure to be alone with yourselves, and do not love yourselves enough. Now you want to mislead your neighbor into love, and gild yourselves with his mistake. One man runs to his neighbor because he is looking for himself, and another because he wants to lose himself. Your bad love of yourselves makes solitude a prison to you. The man of knowledge must be able not only to love his enemies, but also to hate his friends. In heaven, all the interesting people are missing. The man's happiness is, I will. The woman's happiness is, he will. The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often, and sometimes frightened. But no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself. When we are tired, we are attacked by ideas we conquered long ago. Every deep thinker is more afraid of being understood than of being misunderstood. I cannot believe in a God who wants to be praised all the time. The snake which cannot cast its skin has to die. As well the minds which are prevented from changing their opinions, they cease to be mind. No one can construct for you the bridge upon which precisely you must cross the stream of life. No one but you yourself alone. Is man merely a mistake of God's, or God merely a mistake of man? Faith, not wanting to know what the truth is. In truth, there was only one Christian, and he died on the cross. A casual stroll through the lunatic asylum shows that faith does not prove anything. The highest virtue is uncommon and useless. It is shining and mellow in luster. The highest virtue is a bestowing virtue. The advantage of a bad memory is that one enjoys several times the same good things for the first time. To predict the behavior of ordinary people in advance, you only have to assume that they will always try to escape a disagreeable situation with the smallest possible expenditure of intelligence. I am a forest and a night of dark trees, but he who is not afraid of my darkness will find banks full of roses under my cypresses. The Creator seeks companions, not corpses or herds or believers. The Creator seeks fellow creators, those who inscribe new values on new tables. If you have a suffering friend, be a resting place for his suffering, but a resting place like a hard bed, a camp bed. Thus you will serve him best. When your heart surges broad and full like a river, a blessing and a danger to those who live nearby, that is when your virtue has its origin and beginning. You tell me, life is hard to bear. But if it were otherwise, why should you have your pride in the morning and your resignation in the evening? Life is hard to bear, but do not pretend to be so tender. We are all of us pretty fine asses and assesses of burden. It is true, we love life, not because we are used to living, but because we are used to loving. Thoughts are the shadows of our feelings, always darker, emptier, and simpler. One must shed the bad taste of wanting to agree with many. Good is no longer good when one's neighbor mouths it, and how should there be a common good? The term contradicts itself. Whatever can be common always has little value. In the end, it must be as it is and always has been. Great things remain for the great, abysses for the profound, nuances and shudders for the refined, and in brief, all that is rare for the rare. One must be a sea to receive a polluted stream without becoming impure. The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly. There are no beautiful surfaces without a terrible depth. A thinker sees his own actions as experiments and questions, as attempts to find out something. Success and failure are for him answers above all. You must be ready to burn yourself in your own flame. How could you rise anew if you have not first become ashes? We have art in order not to die of the truth. The visionary lies to himself, the liar only to others. Be careful, lest in casting out your demon you exercise the best thing in you. And life itself told me this secret. Behold, it said, I am that which must overcome itself again and again. There are two different types of people in the world, those who want to know and those who want to believe. All things are subject to interpretation. Whichever interpretation prevails at a given time is a function of power and not truth. All I need is a sheet of paper and something to write with, and then I can turn the world upside down. The lonely one offers his hand too quickly to whomever he encounters. There is not enough love and goodness in the world to permit giving any of it away to imaginary beings. Ultimately, it is the desire, not the desired, that we love. That which is done out of love is always beyond good and evil. I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and the impossible. The greatest events, they are not our noisiest but our stillest hours. Now it is with men as with this tree. The more it wants to rise into the heights and the light, the more determinedly do its roots strive earthwards, downwards, into the darkness, into the depths, into evil. What if some day or night a demon were to steal after you into your loneliest loneliness and say to you, this life as you now live it and have lived it, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more. Would you not throw yourself down and gnash your teeth and curse the demon who spoke thus? Or have you once experienced a tremendous moment when you would have answered him, you are a god, and never have I heard anything more divine? To redeem the past, and to transform every it was into an I wanted it thus. That alone do I call redemption.